Good day, everyone. Time for Weather Now with J7409. This is the European model we're looking at right now. You can see the timestamp down at the bottom. I'm going to turn it on and tell you what's expected coming up today through this weekend. Now, I'm going to let it run on through, but some of these places, take for example Maine. Maine's not under any kind of watches or warnings at this time. They will be later on coming up. I'm just going to talk about the specific areas of where the snow and wind is going to be. And yes, I thought it was amusing because I told everybody yesterday about the wind. There were no wind watches, advisories, or warnings up. I looked yesterday afternoon. The National Weather Service started putting them up. Even a windstorm was in one of them. So this is what's going to happen for certain areas. This does not include the rain and the flooding. That will be in a separate video. Lots to talk about. I'm going to turn it on. Let's get going. Now, we are up to the cues for names of winter storms. Can you believe that? This is Quinana. I hope I pronounced that right. And it's a winter storm, of course. And we'll start out in Arizona. If you're up in the mountain areas of Arizona, 5,000 feet and above, 10 to 20 inches of snow. 7,000 feet, 20 to 40. Now, if you're down below, say between 35 and 45 feet, that's 3,500 and 4,500 feet. That's 1 to around 4 inches of snow that you guys are going to get. In New Mexico, high wind watch, 35 to 55 miles per hour. That's your sustained wind with gusts of 65 to 75 in the mountain areas. Below the mountain areas, 30 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour. So far as the snow goes, 4 to 8 inches except 10 to 20 above 7,500 feet. Texas has a wind watch up, 35 to 40 mile per hour sustained winds, gust of 60 miles per hour. In Kansas, 4 to 8 inches of snow is expected at least, with wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Now, if you're in northwestern Minnesota, this is for the northwestern areas of Minnesota. 3 to 4 inches of snow with a light glaze of ice. Now, I want to start this back over again, so let's stop it right quick so you can see exactly what you can expect coming up today through the weekend. We're going to move it on across, and we're going to turn it back on. Now, we have some more places if it's going to go. Here we go. Now, for the state of Nebraska, 2 to 4 inches of snow, ice of 1/10 of an inch with winds gusting to 40 miles per hour. If you're in southern Minnesota, this includes St. Paul, if you're in southern Minnesota, 4 to 8 inches of snow, wind gusts 45 miles per hour. And for all my friends in southwestern Michigan, you could have some whiteout conditions. You're going to have maybe 3 inches of snow, but your wind gusts are going to be 60 miles per hour, maybe a little tad higher. So this is going to cause blowing snow, blizzard-like conditions. It doesn't matter what the amount of snow is if it's blowing around and the wind's blowing that hard. So please, please be careful if you have to be out in this nasty mess in portions today, right on through the weekend and going on into next week. As you can see up here in Maine, this is going to be going on later. I'll have more about how much you may get and what you may get as the weekend gets closer, and we can kind of nail it down and see what's happening. You can also see we have another system's coming in from the west. That will be coming in late Sunday or sometime Monday, and we'll talk about that later also. But this is a general idea on the European model map of what to expect. Okay, we've seen the European model map. Now we're going to the NAM map over at the GFS model, and this is courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. Before I go any further, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click my picture in the bottom right-hand corner, then click the bell. Thank you so much if you do that. I'd appreciate it so very much, and this will ensure you, hopefully, if YouTube agrees, to get the message out that you're informed of all the latest in weather news, forecast, watches, warnings, and storms that's headed your way. What's going on today before we turn the map on and I try my best to explain it to you? We got a high risk of excessive rainfall today, with more heavy rain likely in the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys. Thunderstorms are going to continue into tomorrow for the lower Mississippi and the Tennessee valleys, with severe weather likely. Heavy snow ongoing in the Four Corners region is going to spread into the northern and central plains and upper Midwest, with freezing rain and high winds likely. Now, everybody that subscribed knows Rick Phillips. He's one of my subscribers. He comments quite often. He had a death in his family, and he's got to travel all the way from the Mojave Desert area in California over to Missouri. So, Rick, looks like more than likely you're going to run into some snow. Maybe not too bad, but you're going to have it. Some rain, and most definitely off and on, probably some wind to deal with. So keep that in mind. Let's turn this on and get it going. Folks, we got copious amounts of moisture that's going to continue streaming into the southeastern United States over the next couple of days. Now, this, along with a quasi-stationary front that will eventually lift to the north as a warm front, is expected to continue to produce heavy rain and thunderstorms across the south central and southeastern U.S. Now, the biggest concern today will be for very heavy rain in parts of the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys. Here, the soils are already oversaturated, so there's a high risk of excessive rainfall and flash flooding in those areas. Any additional rain that you guys get is going to cause dangerous flooding conditions. Now, tomorrow, severe weather is forecast for the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys, and it's looking like we have an enhanced risk of severe weather for eastern Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and southwestern Tennessee. Now, the rain is expected to finally end by tomorrow night. After a cold front sweeps through the region, it should dry out the atmosphere some. So let's hope all this comes true. Now, we have an upper level trough that is forecast to move eastward through the Four Corners region today and into the plains tomorrow. Now, at the surface, a low pressure system's going to slowly move across the southwest today and tonight, and then it's going to real fast, like rapidly, go through the plains and the middle Mississippi Valley area tomorrow. And at this time, when it's going through this region, it's going to strengthen. Now, the cold temperatures and the lift, and that's the rising motion of the air, in association with these features, are going to create more winter weather. And additional snow of 6 to 10 inches is forecast for higher elevations, as I was telling you earlier. This is in the Mongolian Rim and southern and central Rockies area today. Now, as a low tracks east and then northeast, winter weather will spread to the northern central plains today and into the upper Midwest by tonight. Now, we got that swath of 6 to 8 inches of snow that is forecast for areas in the central plains, with higher totals of 8 to 12 inches in the middle and upper Mississippi Valley through Sunday morning. We're going to have to see how this all plays out. And we got the freezing rain. It's expected to accumulate in these areas also, with over 1/10 of an inch of ice. That's what it's looking like now for parts of Iowa, Wisconsin, and northern Michigan. Hazardous travel, of course, is going to be likely, and by Sunday morning, the deep low pressure system should bring strong winds and heavy snow to the upper Great Lakes region. Now, in the northwest, another upper low is expected to drop southward through the region and lead to the moderate heavy precipitation there through the end of the week coming up. Now, though mainly rain along the Pacific Northwest coast, snow could mix in even the lower elevation cities like Seattle and Portland, with a persistent cold condition going on. The higher elevations of the Cascades could see 1 to 2 feet of snow, with moderate to heavy snow in the northern Great Basin as well. Temperatures will remain colder than average in the western half of the U.S. And here we have a quick look at the NDFD map, which of course all of the weather reporting stations across the U.S. come together and they make this graphical forecast. And it's pretty accurate. Here we have the 18Z run today. We go to midnight for Saturday. That, of course, the first one here is for 6 o'clock this afternoon. This is at midnight, 6 a.m. Saturday morning. 12 noon Saturday, midnight Sunday. You can see those very heavy storms going on now down south. And this is for the 12Z run at Sunday. Once again, I will have a rain and flooding video coming out just a little bit later on today for everybody, so you can see what's going on and if you need to pay attention. And most of you really do. And we're going to wrap it up. Everything in brown that you see in these areas, high wind warnings. High wind warnings. We go up here to Ohio, parts of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, all the way up into New York. High wind warnings going on. That's what that is. Now, of course, we've got this great big area of flooding that may happen from Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, right on down through Tennessee, parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, just a little bit of Georgia, not too bad. That dark that you see there, that's fog this morning, and then portions of South Carolina and North Carolina. That's for the flooding. Then everything in blue, winter storm watches and winter storm advisories. All in these areas. That's what's going to be coming up headed your way. The only winter storm warnings are out in Arizona and parts of New Mexico, down in Colorado and Utah. And this is the next system that will be coming in. This is Winter Weather Watch, a winter storm watch. It hasn't gone into effect yet, but it will in the next few days. So that's a check of your weather today. Thank you so much for watching. Pass this along if you have any friends or family in any of these areas. The wind in certain places, and as this system moves along, these dark browns you see are going to shift. This is what it's looking like right now. So the snow's going to shift. Everything's going to shift except the rain. It's going to stay put for the flooding areas right where it is. That's what it's looking like at this time. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day. I love each and every one of you. Peace, love, and kindness to all, and thank you for watching.